Hi all, Hipper here. Today I am taking you through the buffed Hipper and what I think of the buff. And I'm sure if you've watched my earlier Hipper videos, you'll know that I like this ship. It just wasn't really competitive as the way it was before the recent buff. And I'm happy to relay to you that after the buff, the Hipper is not only competitive, but it has propelled itself to being one, well, probably not my favorite tech tree cruiser, but very close behind Albemarle in being that. So that means Albemarle and Hipper are now my favorite tech tree cruisers to play, and that's quite an achievement, especially since Hipper was dead last week because it was simply not up to scratch. Not only that, Hipper also had the distinct disadvantage of having a premium ship that was superior to it in every way. Hipper didn't have a single variable that would outshine Prince Eugen in any way. And still, Prince Eugen has 8-kilometer torps, and that is quite a significant advantage. But the DPM buff that is essentially what Hipper received is immense. We are talking, about a 15% increase in DPM in total, including the damage increase to the actual AP and HE shells, which is like quite a lot when you compare to other buffs that Wargaming have done to ships. And compared to Prince Eugen, Hipper now actually has an advantage in main battery power. Even if you run, like I do, an agile build on Prince Eugen where you get 2 reload boosters, from a purely like theoretical standpoint, Hipper will still get off more salvos with the increased reload. And Hipper also does more damage now than compared to Prince Eugen, which turns out to be very useful. Torpedoes are situational on these ships here, and that goes for Hipper as well, and for Prince Eugen as well, to a lesser degree because it has more range. But your main battery, you're usually always able to shoot at someone. So that is certain to be a welcome addition to this game. And Hipper is still a little bit, and that goes for Prince Eugen as well, a little bit dependent on favorable matchmaking, like some squishy tier 6 cruisers like here, that you can really totally punish with this AP monster of a cruiser. Now you don't want to show broadside to anything in this game here, but you especially don't want to do it to Hipper or Prince Eugen for that matter, but especially Hipper. The AP shell damage now on this ship is 6,300 per shell, and that is like a devastating amount of damage, especially if you can get at a full broadside like I just did on that Charlemagne there. That is just nuts. And it's not. It is an upgrade over earlier, and it is, like I said before, about 15% in all. And compared to Prince Eugen, if you run a double reload booster and just pushing this Helena out of the way here, I mean, move it or lose it, brother. Like I said, if you run double reload booster on Prince Eugen, you still won't be able to match the output of Hipper with the main gun battery. So it's a bit of a buff, definitely. Now we can talk about numbers and stats all we want, but really what is most important is if the ship is fun to play. And I will admit, Hipper hasn't been a lot of fun to play since Charles Martel came out. And Martel came out like, oh my god, that's like nearly 2 years ago. And it's just totally like took the thunder from Hipper. And Hipper has pretty much been like useless ever since. And that has fortunately changed. The ship is fantastic now, I think. It's in a very nice spot, and it fits the meta very well, because we have so many cruisers in the game now. I remember 2 years ago, when I took out a tier 7 cruiser, I was almost guaranteed to be the only person in a cruiser at tier 7. And that went on for, I don't know, a long time. 9, 10, 11 months, something like that. And these days, the preferred class seems to be a cruiser, because we've got so many HE spammers. I don't want to call them that, but I just did. Well, HE focused ships, let's call them that. And as you know, I've said before, Hipper is definitely not that. It is an AP focused ship, and it rewards careful aim and careful positioning, and yeah, just being good at the game basically. And that's in that way, it is a very rewarding ship to play. And just missed out of a kill there, and that's going to be a recurring theme in this video here, and that's actually why I chose it, because as I was getting to before, what has happened to Hipper with this buff is that it's now entertaining to play, and obviously that's important, because this is a game, and as some people play it to win, and some people play it to have fun, and some people play it like somewhere in between, like myself. And yeah, sure, if you play the game simply to win, there are better options like Cleveland or Otyukov or Baltimore or Wichita or something like that. But if you play like to also have a little bit of fun in those games, and might want to give up 4 or 5 wins out of 100, well, then Hipper is a strong contender, and so is Prince Eugen, by the way. But Hipper is free, and with the buff, it is now not just viable, but it is quite a powerful ship. I think the biggest plus about Hipper is that you are able to keep your sonar while also putting out more damage per minute than Eugen does, even with Eugen's reload boost. That is a massive advantage. I cannot underline that enough. Because with Eugen you have to choose between reload boost or your sonar, and I know I don't use it in this game, but the sonar really is important, especially because the German sonar is so good. So what I'm getting at in this video is that Hipper is now fun, and it's not just fun, it is a lot of fun. So now that we've gotten rid of this annoying kill-stealing Helena here, I'll show you why this ship is fun. And that's because Hipper and Prince Eugen, they're all about burst damage. I mean, 1 second you can be at 1000 damage, and then 30 seconds later you can be at 60 or 70,000. Because the AP on these ships here is just absolutely nasty. And if you want to do well in Hipper especially, and also Eugen, you have to master the AP and the torps as well. And I mean, when you're playing games like these where your team is just not up to scratch, the good thing about Hipper is that instead of like a frustrating game where you're just like trying to do your best and it doesn't really work at all, with Hipper you're gonna have fun no matter what, even if you lose the game, like in this instance here, despite your best efforts, naturally. I mean, these ships are all about like getting in there, picking your moment, of course, but then getting in there and making an absolute impact on the game. And you really can, but it is a situational ship, and the winning battles isn't as consistent as it is in, for example, Wichita or Cleveland or Baltimore or any of the other radar cruisers, basically. So here I'm just showing the virtues of an agile build here. But as you can see here, both Hipper and Eugen, of course, still suffer from the annoying HE shells will take out your engine thing. And I mean, that's just a thing that you just have to live with. So that's the end of the game for me here, but that was an incredibly fun brawl. And we took out 2 battleships, and all in all 4 kills. And it would have been 6 kills if we hadn't had that annoying Helena around to just pick off the last few ticks of health on the enemies. And I mean, this was a great fun battle. We didn't win, or we aren't going to win, because this Armaggi here is going to get its ass handed to it by 2 cruisers, although the Edinburgh is half health and not even hiding. So yeah. So all in all, I'm very happy with the buff to Hipper, and I would also say that if you are considering Prince Eugen as a global XP ship, I would probably give that an extra thought now, and probably go for Odin or something else, now that Hipper is actually just a hair behind Prince Eugen, in my opinion. It used to be Hipper was like 10 laps behind Prince Eugen, but it's very different now, and the ship got the treatment it needed, and I think it is a lot more fun to play now, and I also think that it fits the current meta perfectly. And that's why I think you should give Hipper another chance if you got it, and if you don't have it, it's now is the time to research it, in my opinion, and give it a chance, take it out there and see what you think. Alright, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.